Hi everyone, this is Rosa Kelly and I'm here today with another part of my Neverland mini album tutorial. So are you guys ready? So hi guys, as you recall, last time we worked on pages 1 and 2. On part 1 we worked on the binding and the hinges. So now we are going to work on the next 2 pages. So we are going to work on page 3. So for page 3 I'm going to start with a piece that measures 12 by 6 and I'm actually going to score this way at 3 inches. And then I'm going to score at 3 inches. Do that twice. At 6 and at 9. Alright, so we have a piece like this. Let's fold along the score line on the center. Okay, and what we are making is a little pop-up box. So these are actually really fun to make. So now we're gonna look at one of the sides here and we are going to cut down each one of the score lines all the way till the center. Okay, so we are going to do that one and then this one and this one as well. Okay, and then I'm going to grab another piece here, just something from your scraps, and we are going to need a piece that measures 3 inches by 1 inch. So I'm just going to cut 1 inch and 3 inches. Okay, and this is going to be our little connector piece. So now I'm going to score this piece at 1/2 inch. Oops. There we go. Okay, so then let's fold along the score line and I'm just going to cut a little notch on each one of the sides like this. And now this piece I am going to use to join this box together. Okay, so then we have the side that has all these flaps, and now what we're gonna do is just fold along the score lines, creating the box. Okay, so then we have this shape, and we are going to we're going to use that connector to join these two sides together. Now make sure you put the connector on the side that is not cut open like that one. So let me grab my glue and I'm just going to add glue right here and place it on this side just like that, and then I'm going to add some glue right here and place this like so we can form the box. Okay, so now we have a piece that looks like that, and so this box is going to fold flat like that. So I'm just gonna mark this very nicely like that, and then when it opens it will open up like so. So now let's fold these to the outside just like that and just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to use another connector piece. This one measures 2 by 3 inches and I am going to score at 1 inch just like that, and we're gonna fold this along the score line and we're going to do the same thing here, just create a little notch on both sides, and this connector is going to join our little box with the page. Now I'm not gonna add it to the page just yet because I still need to cover it with paper, but I will show you that we are going to place the box probably around here closer to the top, and this connection piece is going to go on one of the sides. Okay, so we're just gonna put it on one of the sides here. I'm gonna add my glue and just place it just like that, just so we know how we're gonna join these together. Now this little notch is what is going to go, was what is going to be glue to the page. Okay, but before we add this into the page, let's finish making the pop-up elements. So I'm going to cut another piece of paper at 5 inches by 1 inch, and I'm just using my scrap pieces again, and we are going to need 3 of those. Okay, so now we're going to score 1/2 inch on each side. Actually, no, we're going to score 1 inch on each side. So I'm going to score at 1 and at 4, and I'm going to do the same for all of them. Oops. At 1 and at 4. I'm gonna grab this sheet, which is the reverse of the cover, and I am going to fussy cut out some elements. So I'm thinking on using Peter Pan and Wendy, I think. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's the name. And a little boy here. So I am going to cut each one of these elements. Okay, so now I'm just going to ink around the elements. Okay, so now I'm going to use a piece of acetate to put these guys. I just want it to be something clear so it kind of looks like they're flying. But if you don't have acetate, you can use just cardstock or, you know, a packaging. So I am just recycling one of these little packages where I got some rats, and this is super sturdy, so that works perfect. So I'm just going to cut 3 little stripes here. Just kind of going to divide these in 3, I guess, because I just have this little tiny piece, and I'm just gonna cut one more. Okay, and then I'm gonna make sure this is flat, because since it's packaging, sometimes it's, you know, bent a little bit. So I'm just gonna cut. So I have one piece like that. It's probably about 1/2 inch, and then I'm just gonna cut the other 2, and just like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to put them at different elevations. For example, I'm going to start with Peter here, and I'm just going to place him kind of like higher up. So I am going to glue my acetate in the middle of him on the back, and yeah, so I'm just gonna let this dry, and then I'm going to glue this acetate on this. So maybe I will do it, I think on the center is fine. And I'm just gonna place it like this. Okay, and make sure it's not going to stick out. So that's another thing that we need to check. So basically just put it against the folding line and make sure it's not coming out here. See, because we're gonna put this flash like this, so make sure he's not coming out here, which is fine. So now I'm gonna grab the second one and my second piece of acetate. Now this one I'm going to place the acetate more cut it a little bit. I'm going to place it more kind of like on her legs, so she's more to the side, right here like this. And then I'm going to grab a second piece and just put her there. Now make sure you don't do the same elevation. Put these two together, and we're gonna place this one slightly down, so kind of like right here. Place this, and I'm just going to cut the excess. All right, so now we have that one, and the last one is going to be the little boy. And again, I'm going to grab my acetate, and I'm just going to glue it. Oops, I'm going to put it right in the middle, just like this. And this one, I'm kind of going to put him even lower, so maybe like this. So I am just going to put my glue and just place him there. Oops, let it dry. I'm gonna let this dry, just like that. And then we're just going to cut whatever's extra. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside for now, and you might be wondering, where are we going to put the pictures on this album? So we're just going to grab a second piece of cardstock, and I am going to create a layout before I add this on top, just that way we have some room to actually put pictures in here. All right, so I'm going to cut these at 7.5 by 10. Okay, and then I'm going to score 1/2 inch along the 10-inch side. Okay, so and then I'm going to fold along the score line, just like that. And this page is going to go on top here, so we can actually open it and add pictures in the inside. So let's work on this one instead of that. So the first thing we're gonna do is add our double-sided tape, so we are ready to attach it to the page. So let me cut this right there. Okay, so now for this, I'm going to cover this page. Well, I'm not going to cover it yet, but I'm going to cut a piece of paper to cover that. So I am just going to pencil mark, and this should measure 7.25 by 9.5, I think, but I always like to pencil mark so I don't have to measure. Okay, so I have the piece ready. Now I'm going to use the scrap here, the scrap pieces, and I am going to cut these at 2 3/4 by 3/4 inch. And I'm going to need 3 of those. So I'm gonna cut it 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and these are just going to be for these little guys. So I'm just going to place this to cover the black. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue it down. Just like this. And then it's also going to secure our acetate in place. So 1 for each. Here we go. And 1 more here. Okay. Those are so cute. Okay, so now with these ones, I'm going to cut 4 pieces. Let's see if I have enough. I think I should. And these are going to measure 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So these pieces are just going to go on the on the box, on the flaps of the box. So we're gonna place them here, and next one right here. Okay, so now I have the 4 parts covered, and I'm just gonna lay these flat for now. Make sure that your little notch is on your bottom left, and what I'm going to do is add some magnets again to keep this flat when it lays on the page. So we are going to need 3, but maybe just 2 for now. And let's see, I'm going to we're going to add one. Again, you want this on your bottom left, and we're gonna place one on the center of the top right. Okay, then I'm gonna turn this around and just find the matching area, and I'm gonna place my tape again there. So now I'm ready to cover this with paper. So we are going to need 8 pieces, the same thing like we did here, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So we're gonna need 4 for this side and 4 for the back. And I'm going to use this design here. This will be the back of this little island. So again, I'm going to cut just 1 piece of 2 3/4, and then I'm going to cut this into 2 3/4 pieces. Okay, so I went ahead and inked all around these pieces as well, and now I'm just going to glue them in my box. I'm going to just make sure they all have the same orientation. Okay, so now I cover both sides of the box, and again we're gonna place it so the notch is on the top, on the bottom left. And now I'm going to see where I want to put it here on my design paper. So I just want it on the center, and this could be placed you know, area for pictures. So I am just going to pencil mark on the sides of my notch here, 1 there and 1 here, and I don't know if we could see it, but that's where I'm going to cut a line. So we can just bring our little what do you call this, paper cutter, and right where that dot is that we mark, I'm going to start right there, and I'm going to kind of go 3 inches, and it doesn't have to be exact. You just have to make sure that your notch is going to fit. So I kind of have to cut it a little bit longer, just because I can't see my second pencil mark. So I'm just gonna cut it a little bit longer. Alright, so now let's make sure it goes in, and it does, kind of. Okay, so now we're gonna put this on the side here. And now that I have it in all the way, let's make sure it goes in all the way, just like that. I'm gonna turn this around, and I'm going to bend this up. Okay, so we're gonna bend this up. Make sure it still looks fine. And then I'm going to glue this notch. And again, I'm gonna bend it up. Okay. So now we have that piece. And remember, we have the magnet on these corners, and I'm gonna turn that around, and I am going to add another magnet on the same place. And then I'm just going to secure that, and now I'm going to glue all of this into, oops, get this so I can remove my tape. All of these I'm going to glue into the page. So I'm just gonna add my glue, just like that, the notch. Okay, and now I am ready to just place this on the center. So now this could be area for pictures, or we can decorate it more with images if you like. So now what we're gonna do is open this up. See how cool that is? So this secures here with the magnets, and I put 2 because since it's 2 thick layers, just want to make sure it really holds the top and the bottom. So we're gonna open this up, stand up the box, open the box. So now we have it like this, and now we're ready to place our characters here. So I'm gonna start with Peter, and I'm actually going to trim this 1 inch here just a little bit, just because I want him to be more to the back, more towards the back. Okay, so I'm gonna start with him. I'm going to add my glue on the 2 sides. Oops. And then I'm just gonna place him just so the notch goes all the way to the back. Okay, so the notch is kind of like a little gusset for this box. Okay, so now I have him all the way down there. Make sure that you put it flush against the box. Don't press it too much down. And now we have the first guy. Now we're gonna do the girl. Now the girl is 1 inch away from him, so I think that's okay. So I'm not gonna cut this out. I'm just gonna add my glue here and my glue here. And I'm gonna place this notch here right next to the one for Peter Pan. So I'm just gonna place this on the center and scooch it all the way back. And I'm just gonna hold this here for a second so it glues. And now we have the little boy. Now the little boy, I don't want him to be too much on the front, so again I'm going to cut these a little bit. Okay, so I have smaller notches, and we're just gonna do the same, 1 side and 2 sides. And I love this paper. I love how it's the night and they're flying, so now they actually look like they're flying. So let me put this there, and now let me show you how it looks from the front. And that's so cool, because we use the acetate, they actually look like they're flying. So they're flying out, oops, they're flying out of the page. I just love that. Now of course you can put pictures there, or you can embellish it, or you can leave it as it is, just as a little surprise box. And then we will lay all these flat, and it will just connect here on this corner. This shouldn't open as long as this is tied on the back. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the page, and we are just going to add this, as we always add a little flap. So I'm just gonna flush it on the top, just like so. Take off the tape, and now we have a fun little box page. And now this is gonna open up, and then we can actually do some picture layouts in here. I'm just gonna cover this with paper, but I will cover that area with paper later on. I want to make sure I have enough paper to play with, and you can always complement with a different type of paper here if you like, just something to put your pictures on. Okay, so now let's work on the next page. Okay, so now we're gonna work on page number 4. So for this page, I want to display the 4x6 cards. So I thought we would do a little like pull down waterfall. So for that, I'm going to start with a piece of 12 by 12, and I am going to cut these at 6 inches first. And then I'm gonna put this together and cut these at 4 inches. And we are going to do 6 of those. So here we have 2, 4, and 6. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna use a second piece of cardstock, and this one I'm just using one of my scrap pieces here. So this one measures 5 3/4, and that should be good enough. Alright, so now I'm going to use this piece here, and I'm going to score, let's see, 1/2 inch. Okay, and we're going to need 6 of those. So I'm going to score at half, at 1, 1 1/2, 2, 2 1/2, and 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces to prepare our layout. And so let me move this out of the way. And then I'm just going to fold along the score lines. So I'm just gonna actually do it like this. You want to fold them all on the same direction. So I'm just gonna fold and press and fold and press and fold and press. Alright, so now I'm gonna fold them all again, and I'm going to start on the bottom here, this bottom 1/2 inch. I'm just gonna glue this first layout there, and so basically I'm just gonna add glue on the 1/2 inch and place this piece here, and I'm just gonna center it since the base is just a little bit shorter than the actual size, which is okay, we can do that. Alright, so I'm just gonna place that one. Then I'm going to add glue on the next one. Make sure you don't add your glue on top of, you know, the score line. And I'm just gonna place the next one right there. Make sure it is aligned to the first one. Okay, so now I'm just gonna press this down, and we are going to do the same on the next layout, the next little score line. And I'm just gonna add it. I'm just lining everything up with this side, and then I'll do the same for the next 3. Okay, so now I'm just gonna open them one at a time and just make sure that they were glued correctly. Okay, so I'm just gonna press them all. Alright, I am going to trim this one down. Let's see. So I am just going to leave it about 1 inch away from the edge here. So I'm just gonna place this edge at the 1 inch mark, and then I'm gonna trim it. Okay, so then I'm going to round the edge of the last one. So I am just going to place that there and here. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut these images. Okay, so I have all of these cards cut out, and now I'm just going to ink around all of them. Now if you want, you can just use the front and leave the rest empty for pictures, but I think I'm going to decorate mine using the cards because I just love this collection. Okay, so now I'm just going to glue the images down. So I'm going to start with this one where they're reading the story. I kind of want to go, I think they're on a sequence, I'm not sure, but maybe. So I'm going to start with this one that she's reading the story, then on this one that, you know, they go out of the room flying. Let's see, put that there, and I think after that they go to Neverland, so I'm gonna put the map. Okay, and then after that, I guess I don't know what's next. Maybe we'll do this one. There we go. And then we will put this one right down here. And lastly, the one that, you know, they're fighting here. And now I'm just gonna place it down there. Perfect. So now I'm going to cover this sheet as well. So I am going to use this design right here, which is basically the leftover from the blue lines that we were using. So I'm just gonna pencil mark there and here so I can cut this page. And then I'm just going to round the edge again, just on the bottom to match with the base. And before we glue this down, I'm going to add a little piece of ribbon so it's easy to pull down. Okay, so I have this little piece of Sari silk that I just have left over from random projects. So I'm just gonna cut a piece like so. I'm gonna open that up and I'm going to glue it in here. So I'm just going to add some fabric tag glue. Let's do that, and I'm just gonna place it kind of like a U so we can pull it out. And then I'm gonna put more fabric tag glue on top so it glues to this paper here on top. So now I am just going to ink this page. Oops. Just really quick. And then I'm going to add it into the page. Alrighty. Alright, so now we just put it down. Just like that. Okay, so now we're gonna make sure this is nice and okay, so now I'm going to pick a design for this page and I'm going to use the back of this one. So we are going to cut this page at 7 1/4. So I'm going to cut it from here. 7 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to save this piece and then we are going to do 9 1/2. So then I'm going to use one of these pieces of scraps that I have, and this piece measures, I think it's the same width as the page. So it measures 7 1/2 by 2, okay? So then I'm going to use this other piece and I am going to cut it at 7 1/4, which it is already, by 1 3/4. All right, so now I have this smaller piece that's gonna go into here. So I'm just going to ink all around it. Okay, so now I'm just gonna glue this here. So now I'm going to grab this piece that we are going to use. Okay, so now I'm going to secure this using 2 little brads. And so first I'm going to slide this in. Basically we want this just like that. I'm going to align the last one of the waterfall to the bottom of this belly band that we did. So I think that is pretty aligned. So now I'm just gonna open this up and I'm going to glue it. So I'm just gonna add my glue on that belly band. Okay, and now I am going to close this back up. Here we go. So now this is where we want it. And then, like I said, we're gonna use the brads to secure these on the side. So I'm just gonna pencil mark here on the center, just like there. And then I'm just gonna make sure it's even to the other side. So I'm gonna use my ruler. And I'm going to mark here as well, just on the center. And then I am going to poke a hole. So I'm gonna use the smaller side, and I'm just gonna punch through both of these pages on this side and on this side. And now I'm just gonna add the brads, and I just have the smaller ones, like I said, they're kind of they're not long enough, I guess. All right, so I'm just going to make sure this is nice and flat, and I'm gonna do this one too. And again, I'm just gonna open it and make sure they're nice and flat. All right, so now all I'm gonna do is glue this whole page into the base. Okay, so make sure your belly band is aligned, and we should be good to go. Let's see. Okay, so now I'm just gonna press this whole thing down and make sure it's nice and dry. Okay, and now we can test it. So we pull down and we have the fun little layouts. Now we can always put a picture on the back here, or you can journal, or you can just save all this room to just add your pictures. You can add a large picture on the back there as well. So I hope that you guys are enjoying the tutorial so far. I'm super excited to see it come together. We have one more page to work on, one more signature. So we will be doing pages 5 and 6 next time, and then we are going to do the inside covers and put it all together. So I hope that you like the tutorial, and don't forget to visit JS Hobbies and Crafts, and all the supplies that you need are going to be on the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.